The U.S. Homeland Security Secretary faced questions about U.S. border security. Congressman Darrell Issa asked the secretary, when is Title 42 going to end?
When is Title 42 going to end?
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
No, just a date.
Yeah.
May 23rd?
The CDC said May 23rd.
When we were at the border a week ago, we saw that on your orders from Washington, but I have to presume they were yours, Title 42 has already ended.
Congressman Issa alleged the department has stopped enforcing the rule. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas denied that claim. A federal judge blocked the Biden administration from ending the policy next month. And joining me now to discuss is Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, welcome back. Good to see you again. Not only did Secretary Mayorkas talk about Title 42 while testifying, he also mentioned that DHS is creating a disinformation governance board to combat misinformation in the midterm elections. What do you think this signals?
Well, I mean, some people are calling it the Ministry of Truth from Orwell's, 1984. Look, and the person who was just named as the head of that bureau, I guess you call it, is on record, has tweets about supporting the Russian dossier from Christopher Steele, approving of the silencing or the censoring of the Hunter Biden laptop story just before the 2020 election. So there are a lot of questions about exactly what this bureau is going to be doing and how it's going to be doing its work. The White House, Jen Psaki said she's in favor of it and doesn't know anyone who wouldn't be in favor of misinformation, stopping misinformation or disinformation. The question is, who gets to decide what is misinformation and disinformation?
Yeah, it's all very curious. President Biden says that he's considering how to move forward with student loan forgiveness. I want to get your thoughts on that. And do you think that we'll see a wide-reaching cancellation of student debt? Your thoughts?
Well, he said today that he was not looking at up to $50,000 per individual, but something less than that. But he admitted that he is, in fact, looking at student debt forgiveness. It is not at all clear, while I think the Biden administration is trying to curry favor with progressives who are very much in favor of this, and also young voters, because the administration's numbers are very, very low with young voters. It's not clear that this is going to be a political winner for Biden or for the Democrats at all. In fact, there could be potential backlash from a lot of folks who either paid off all their debts on their own, worked extra jobs and sacrificed to do that, or people who took another job and sacrificed to work their way through school without incurring any debts, or just the average American, a truck driver or some working class individual is going to be taxed and use their tax dollars to pay for the student debt, forgiving the student debt for someone who went to Harvard or Yale Law School. I mean, there are a lot of implications to this that I think are unknown in terms of the political consequences.
Yeah, and a lot of people asking, is this fair? There's a new poll on Real Clear Politics showing that Democrats may be in trouble come November. Talk to us more about that and what you think is behind those numbers.
So we had two polls released today, one from Emerson and one from Susquehanna, showing the generic congressional ballot question. And that is the question that asks, if the election were held today, would you vote for the Republican for Congress or the Democrat? No names attached, just generic Republican or Democrat. Traditionally, this is a number that Democrats do well in and typically lead in, given that it's a national number. But the Emerson poll had the Republicans leading by 6, and the Susquehanna poll had Republicans leading by 10. Those are jaw-dropping numbers in terms of Republicans having that kind of lead at this point in the cycle. It would portend a wipeout of Democrats in November if they can't get those numbers somewhere back to at least even, running even with Republicans in that question. Because, again, it's a national number. And when you think about where this election is going to be decided in swing states like Arizona and Georgia, in swing districts around the country, the numbers for Democrats are almost certainly worse in all of those places. And so it should be, alarm bells should be ringing across the Democratic headquarters in Washington.
And Tom, we have probably about a minute or so left, but real quickly, before I let you go, what else are you following right now?
Well, I mentioned the generic congressional ballot, where obviously the primary season is kicking into gear. On Tuesday in Ohio, there is a Senate primary, particularly on the Republican side, where J.D. Vance, who received Trump's endorsement, is going to and has been leading in the latest polls. We're following that race very, very closely. It's the first of many races in which we will see Trump-backed candidates versus establishment candidates in races around the country, which will, really decide where the Republican Party is headed in terms of the splits that has developed between, the MAGA movement and the Trump-backed piece of the party versus the establishment piece of the party. And we'll get a good indication of that on Tuesday in Ohio.
Okay, we're going to leave it right there. Tom, thanks so much for your time today and your insights. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Tracy.